All right, so I'm going to teach you how to get away with murder. Now, it's not that difficult because clearly people can do it and get away with it and just kind of live their life. There are plenty of unsolved mysteries on the FBI website of who's killed who and like who are these clothes from? Who is this body from? This was found on this side of the road. This is from 1954. Like it's pretty easy. Now, to be fair, now it's a little bit more difficult because of cameras and security and like blood samples or whatever the fuck, right? But there are still ways you can do it, and there are still ways that you can do it in a way where you won't really have to worry about being prosecuted even if you were caught. So, the first thing to do is to be a police officer. That's probably the easiest way. So, if you were somebody who wanted to, I don't know. I've always had this idea of like there would be a movie where in high school, this person, or maybe just in school in general, they didn't like somebody. And the first thing they couldn't figure out, or they wanted to make sure they got away with murder, right? And so they were like, what ways can I do this that would make it easy for me to get away with it? So they become a police officer and they hunt people down, right? So that would be the first sort of idea of a movie that I had. Now, you would think that that's kind of like a Punisher way, but Punisher is like a whole different breed of only killing people because they deserve to die, and then also only doing it's because he's the line in between good and evil, and he's also just psychotic, right? Right? So, all right, so that's the first way. In fact, that's kind of the only way I was thinking. So realistically, there are no stopgaps. Is that what it is? Like even when you're put on trial, you're fine for like the most part, pretty much. There has been an instance where someone has gotten convicted, and one of them was, I think, George Floyd, and I really think that was just because the whole city was on fire, and they were like, well, we can't have this, so they were like, we're gonna convict you, and I think he's in there for like quite some time. But you might have people like Ben Shapiro who have the balls enough to sit in front of a camera and say, I'm going to start a Derek Chauvin release bond bail, whatever the fuck fund. That went nowhere. But, yeah, obviously, I think it's one of the easiest ways. Now, I can't be a police officer because that's just too, like, to be one is just kind of annoying. Like, you got to go through all these steps, and like, this is retarded. Just whatever, right? But then also, you kind of look at some of them and just like, did they just give you something to do it? Like, funnily enough, actually, you can just sign up to be a police officer because ICE, you can sign up to be an ICE agent. So you just go online. Like, apparently they're taking anybody. Who would have thought? I don't know if they do background checks, but if they don't do background checks, even better for you. You can sign up, you can be one, and then theoretically, actually, politically, you would have the president and Kristi Noem on your side. And then, but socially you'd be hated. But if you don't have a conscience and you don't care, you can just do whatever you want. So I'm still waiting for the day that there's somebody who decides that it would be a great idea to just kind of take their thoughts to the next level. Obviously, it's a terrible idea for most sane people. But if you really wanted to just kind of get away with whatever you wanted, and no one was going to stop you, and legally no one's going to prosecute you, because the public's too scared to do it, the president doesn't care, and overall society is just, people are too busy to care about little things like that. Like, they'll pay attention, but they also give up easy. So, this is probably the easiest way to do it. Obviously, what happened in Minneapolis today, or maybe yesterday, whenever I upload this video, or a week from whatever the fuck. Anyway, it's really weird overall, because like he shot her and then he like walked away. It's actually kind of weird, because it's like if you're gonna shoot somebody, you at least want to revel in what you've done, even if you're like shooting to kill or I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna do it, because I think what are they, serial killers, or they at least have the mental capacity to enjoy what they're doing, right? And I think it kind of goes to show that even after you do that as an officer, you don't have the ability to soak in what you've done, which is kind of weird, because if you were trained to do that, But then there are people out there who can kill people and eat people, and they can revel in it and eat the flesh and whatever. You would think that there would be some sort of, I don't know, I don't know. You would think it would be kind of different or interesting or whatever. But anywho, that whole thing happened. That's what sparked this video. Because I was just kind of thinking, well, that video, and then also just a movie idea that I've had for years. So, that's the video. That's how you get away with murder. And don't blame me if you get caught.